When traveling in Vietnam, you must have patience. Our journey from Nguyen to Hoi An is a long one, about 7 hours by road. Going by road is the best way to travel. You get to see some interesting sights, like following this herd of water buffalo and this lady who dries out her rice grains on the hot road, putting herself in danger just to earn a modest income to feed her family. I always learn something small that remains in my thoughts and comes back to me in the quiet times. The beautiful and ancient town of Hoi An began as a trading centre established by the local Sa Huyn people who lived on the Tu Bon River. The town was a crossroad of economic cultural flows in Vietnam and Southeast Asia from the end of the 16th century to the early 19th century. It was also the gate through which Buddhism and Christianity were introduced into Vietnam in the 17th century. Hoi An is the only place in Vietnam to have many of its original streets and buildings preserved, intact, which are typical of an old seaport town in Southeast Asia.
The best way to get around in Hoi An is by bicycle. Now, I've just come from the markets. I bought some fresh herbs, green mango, and my dried fish. All the ingredients I need for my fresh green mango salad. I was sitting down having a coffee this morning at Cafe Suda, and I was listening to the women next to me talking about food. They were just chattering, bickering about food, green mango salads, and I went, green mango salad? I've got the perfect recipe. And I'm so lucky to be able to speak Vietnamese and to hear what everyone's saying around me. And I thought, yes, I have the exact recipe for you. They thought they were going to make it with corn and pork, but I thought, well, let's go for dried fish. And that's what I've got here today. This is a silverfish, really tiny. The bones are just crunchy. You can use silver bait or anchovies if you like. Now, this fish has been sun-dried for a whole day. It's quite salty. So I'm balancing it out with green mango, one of my favourite fruits. They're green, they're unripe, and they're crunchy. Bit of sourness, bit of tartness to it. Now this silverfish, I've just washed slightly, just get rid of some of the impurities that may be on them. I'm going to deep fry them, really hot oil, just for less than 30 seconds. Turn my gas on. Check how hot it is, of course. Oh, that's pretty hot already, that's great. I'm going to fry them in different batches and put them onto my kitchen paper. I'm just going to flash fry them, not for too long, around 30 seconds. I want them crisp and crunchy, not overcooked at all. Take that out. Oh, that's looking good. Onto the kitchen paper. Nice golden colour. Now I can eat these while I'm watching a movie, just like popcorn or chips. Sounds strange, but try it. Really, really delicious. While that's draining, I'm going to shave my green mango. Now you're probably wondering, why in Vietnam do they eat everything green, everything unripe? That's kind of weird. It's all about the sourness and the texture. Green mango, green papaya, green guava, and even green banana. Okay, that's draining there. This is my green mango. Shave the skin off. Really fine and delicately. Spitting juice at me. Got a bit of a crowd around me here. I'm under pressure. I hope those ladies this morning aren't around, because they'll just cane me and drill me. Why are you using dried fish? Well, we said prawn and pork. All right. So you just use a sharp knife. Make little cuts like that. That's good. Now I've got a special tool here made for green mango and green papaya. Shave that in. And when you see it like that, just rip it open there. Nice and crunchy. Ooh, bit of zing. Now this will balance well with this salty silverfish. Now riding to the market earlier was really, really tough. Narrow lanes, motorbikes riding past, deliveries coming in, ladies screaming at you, pushing and shoving. But I finally got my mint and I had lots of fun. I've got fish mint here, really strong flavour. Tastes like fish, basically. Really, really nice. Lemon basil, Vietnamese mint, spearmint flavour, really spicy. There's so many herbs out there I've seen in the market that I've never seen ever in Australia. Very, very fortunate. So I go to town. Okay, just gonna chop it all up. Now when you're chopping up mint, you gotta slice it nice and gentle. Don't chop it up because you'll bruise it, okay? So slice. Throw it in your salad. Some fried red shallots. Now I've got a fish sauce here which is very different. This is my Auntie Nine's recipe. 4 spoons of sugar, 4 spoons of fish sauce, really, really thick, and you balance that out with some lime, around 4 spoons of lime again. In you go. With pounded chili and garlic, a spoonful of that. Ooh. I'm gonna start with 2 spoons in my salad. 2, 1, oh. It's almost like fish sauce syrup, really, really thick. Now you put in your crispy fried silverfish. So crunchy. Put it all in. And then you get your hands into it and just mix it. Oh, yes. That is it. Plate her up. It's a great summer salad. Bit of sourness, bit of sweetness, bit of saltiness. That's what Vietnamese food's all about. It's about balance. Bit of chili. Crushed roasted peanuts for texture. And you know what? I'm gonna give it another spoon of fish sauce. Ooh, la la. Fantastic. Now that's my green mango salad with crispy silverfish. Với xoài sống khô cá bạc. Now, the other thing you need to do in Hoi An is get a tailor-made suit. 3 fittings, 24 hours for a fraction of the price. And you get really pampered as well. Come on, chị ha.
It's at night when Hoi An comes alive, with colourful lanterns lining the streets, and in the cool of the evening, I like to walk around town and take in the atmosphere. This bridge was built by the Japanese around the 17th century. Its architecture is just stunning. One theory of the bridge's construction was to subdue a mythical dragon, where it was believed its head to be in India, its tail in Japan, and the back of the dragon monster was in Vietnam. The Japanese believed earthquakes were caused by the dragon when it moved, so they built a bridge on its back to hold the monster down.
Walking through the old town of Hoi An, I walked past this amazing French colonial building. It was all lit up and I had to come in. It's called Brothers Cafe and there's this gorgeous landscape garden with an overbridge, a red lantern. I thought, I've got to cook here. Now this recipe here is a classic dish for me. I used to eat it all the time when I was younger. It's slow cooked lemongrass chili chicken. Now I use chicken fillets, chicken thigh fillets, not the breast. I find the breast really dry and really bland, but a thigh fillet gets moist, absorbs all the flavour and it stays succulent. So I'll just make a simple marinade to start off with. A spoon of white sugar, caster sugar if you have it, and around 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. Just going to mix it up and dilute it through. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm just going to add some garlic, around a clove of garlic. There you go, all diced up. Lemongrass. Now when you're using lemongrass, you've got the lemongrass stalk here. Only use the white part. You discard all this stuff here, cut it up, and you use that part. So I've diced that up finely as well. A big tablespoon of the finely diced lemongrass and pickled minced chili. Just around a couple of teaspoons. I like it spicy. This is a lemongrass chili chicken, so I'm going to put heaps of chili in there. I'll let that sit for a while. I'm going to cut this up into pretty big chunks, probably around 4 to 5 centimetres. Half of that. Chunky. Into thirds. It's great. Very well balanced. Sugar, sweet, fish sauce, a bit salty, chili, spice. Throw that in. Now you need to marinate this for a minimum 1 to 2 hours. If I'm cooking at the restaurant, 24 hours for a better result. Now the lemongrass has a scent already, it's very fragrant, but once I put it in the pan with the oil and it starts to come out, unbelievable. So I'll let that sit for an hour.
Tonight is a full moon. It's the 15th day of the lunar calendar. And in Hoi An, the locals light little candles in colourful lanterns and let them float down the river. Every candle represents the spirit of their ancestors. The lanterns float peacefully and they can go wherever they want to. The families sit, watch and ask for luck and prosperity.
Now with the chicken thigh fillets, I've taken the bone out and just taken the skin off. A little bit more healthy for you. Now you've got to remember, when you're cooking with lemongrass, cook the lemongrass first because it's thicker and you need to get all the aromas out before you put the garlic and the shallots in. So throw that in there. I'm using a lot of this here. Now, you can just smell the perfume, the fragrance. It's absolutely divine. Turn that down a bit because you don't want to burn it. Just brown a little. Be patient. After when it's come out, you start to smell it, then you put in your garlic and your shallots in. This is comfort food for me. Coming home from school, I walk through the gate with my little backpack. I can just smell the aroma of the lemongrass and the chili and the garlic, and I knew exactly what Mum was cooking, and I'll get so excited. I'll have a very early dinner. So that's all brown now. I'm going to put in my garlic, a bit more garlic, red Asian shallots, and you can just imagine the smells that are coming out from here now. Bit of sliced chili. I like chili, as you notice. Brown that a bit more. Yep, it's perfect. Now you need to seal your chicken. So high heat, put your chicken in. Just leave it on one side, don't play around with it. Just let it sit for 2 minutes. And you need to brown and let the sugar caramelize a little bit. Now there's a lot of other recipes with this. People use chicken stock, people use beef stock, but what I use is young coconut juice. It's a little bit sweet. You don't need any stock. Just chop it from the tree if you have one in the backyard. Likely, you won't, but in Vietnam, it's everywhere, it's abundant. Turn that over. Now I'm happy with that colour. Open my little coconut up. Oh, Just going to put in around, just half a cup will do, just to coat it. Lid on, 5 minutes, just leave it be, walk away and come back. I'll just turn that back up high, take the lid off. Now I'll add in my onions and spring onions. I don't want to overcook them too much. Just another minute and a half. Mix it up. Reduce the sauce down furthermore so it's a little bit thickened. When you're eating with your hot steamed jasmine rice, drizzle the sauce all over your rice. Don't waste the sauce. Oh, that looks really, really good. My mum would be really proud of me. All it needs now is a bit of coriander, some rice, maybe some cucumber. And that's my lemongrass chili chicken gà xào, xào ớt.
Hoi An is a very popular tourist destination, and I sometimes shy away from visiting towns only to be surrounded by tourists. But you can't help but spend time in Hoi An and discover its famous alleyways. The Japanese settled in this town in large numbers, following a treaty with local Nguyen lords signed in the early 1600s. Hoi An at the time was underdeveloped, but the Japanese had a vision to transform the town into a great trading centre. The Nguyen lords allowed the Japanese to construct streets and buildings for the local merchants.
I met Mr. Lam here at a cafe. They were playing cards, slamming the cards on the table, and that caught my attention. He introduced himself as a shoemaker, and he asked me if I want to get some shoes done. Of course, I agreed. And then he invited me back to his home where they live here with his grandmother, his little kids, 3 generations. Small village along the river. And this is a recipe that I don't usually cook at home. It's in a clay pot, and the chicken is steamed with no liquid at all. First, I'm going to marinate it. Now, they were raising these chickens, and while they were plucking it and slaughtering it, the poor thing had 3 of its friends watching. So I've just taken the guts out. Got to flatten a little bit there, just a big bash. Bit of salt, around a tablespoon of salt, and some pickled chili. This Hoi An chili is really, really good. A little bit sweet as well. About 3 spoons of that. And I've got some lime leaf here. Now, the lime leaf is just from the lime tree. It's not the kaffir lime, but it's still got that really fragrant, aromatic freshness to it. This finely sliced, throw that in as well. I'm just going to mix it all up together. And that's just a quick, simple marinade. Marinate for an hour. Just going to rub the skin in and out. A bit more lime leaf, I think. Now, this is such a country-style cuisine. Cooked, sticks in fire, clay pot, really earthy, really organic. Rub the skin. I'm going to get my hands in there. I'm going to turn him over. And in the stomach as well. In its belly. Get your hands in there, rub, rub, rub. The leaves bring out so much flavour and fragrance to the chicken. That. All right, I'm going to leave the head on because I love the neck. And I love chewing on its bones. We don't waste a thing in Vietnamese cuisine. Okay. All right. I'm going to set that aside just an hour while I prepare the rest of the ingredients, which isn't much at all. So we've got rock salt here, straight into the clay pot. sugarcane from Mr. Lum's sugarcane tree at the back. Kind of small pieces. And just line the pot with the sugarcane. So what's happening? There's no liquid, but as it heats up, the sugarcane will release some liquid out. Just tiny bits of it. So it's kind of smoked, grilled, but at the same time steamed. Really unusual dish. Now I'm using fresh sugarcane from Mr. Lum's garden here, but back home, you can get them fresh at your Asian market, or you can get them canned if you like. But try to get the fresh ones. Kind of line that up, making like a little base for the chicken. And also from Mr. Lum's tree, get over. Yeah, guava leaves. Fresh guava leaves. Pick a whole bunch of them from the guava tree. I'm going to line it over the sugarcane. There you go. Oh, it's smelling good already. Lemongrass, just the white part only. I'm going to pound that. Get my big cleaver. Just bruise it slightly so it releases all the perfume quicker. Secure that. Now the chicken is ready to be cooked. Slide him in there. Squash him down a bit further. Lid on. I'll take Grandma's pot off for her tea. 15 minutes, all it takes on medium heat. There you go. There you go. Now the salt has just stopped popping. 15 minutes was all it takes. Let's have a look. Alam, my shoes ready yet? Your food's ready. Oh, that's fantastic. That's my chicken, dry steamed with lemongrass, sugarcane, and lime leaf. Ga ham lo. Now what's caught my eye is this kerosene lanterns, and that for me equals fertilized duck embryo. I'm gonna have one. Crack the top, and as I peel it off, very delicately, and this egg has been fertilized for 12 to 15 days. Now you can see the membrane coming out there. Nice little veins, little prickly bits. And what you have to do, peel the embryo off, the veins off, and sip on its broth or its juice. And you know what? That's like a delicate, clean duck broth. It's really, really beautiful. Kid you not. Peel it out here, and as you can see, you can start seeing the feathers coming through. I think this has been fertilized for maybe 15 days. Now this is a delicacy. It's not gross, it's not horrible, it's actually very, very good. Now you can see here the formation of the embryo. The veins, I'm going to peel this off. Oh. Bit of salt and pepper over their head. Bit of Vietnamese mint. Crunch of the brains of the beak. Zing of the Vietnamese mint. Oh, I got a feather stuck in my tooth. Hang on. Really, really good. You have to try it when you get here. I've noticed this dense jungle. Next week, I head into the jungle and do a wok toss beef with black pepper and discover a secret family recipe for the gao noodle. I'll also catch up with a friend of mine in Hoi An, where we do a delicious seared tuna with mango salsa and prepare fish on a stick, rice ramen style. Now, I don't need to worry that my bamboo is going to burn because it's fresh and it's moist.